guys, and welcome back to Delusional Diaries Podcast. I'm Hallie.
And I'm Jazz. Is it a girl or a boy?
Oh, wait, we are like matching like that. I didn't even realize.
Girl mom, boy mom.
I feel like it'll end up being
gay
the opposite
son,
'cause
thought
you said
daughter.
that.
What?
I feel like it'll be the opposite now that you said that.
Like, I won't have a boy?
I'm not saying you won't.
Guys, I'm like down for like whatever happens to me. Obviously, I can't pick and choose a child.
I like actually could not care less either way, but I feel like if I had to veer towards one, I would pick a girl.
Really? Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate? I'm curious of your reasoning.
I just think I could raise like a really great daughter, and like I think like men you can too. Like it's not like I don't think I'd feel like I'd be a fine boy mom also, but I don't know. Also, I'd just love to like pass down all my clothes and everything and keep stuff. I just think it'd be cuter.
No, I agree. It would be. I just like, I think I butt heads with my mom so much.
Yeah.
That I'm like, that I feel like because I butt heads with her so much and that we didn't get good for so long that I would do so many things the opposite to where I'd be like chilling with my daughter. But then maybe just like you can't go, maybe it's just how like mother-daughter things work, you know?
Yeah.
In my
I get
head.
that.
Like, I don't know. But I feel like, when I say boy mom, I don't mean like crazy boy mom, like where I want to fuck my son like most boy moms do. I just mean like we're chilling.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess. I don't know. I just think I want to have a little best friend. Like I would love to like, I just feel like I'll be a cool mom. So I would love for like my daughter, you know, when girls post like, my mom's my best friend. Like I want that.
I want that too.
Yeah.
In general.
I don't know.
Can't relate. But no, I hope I get one of each.
Okay. Well, I was actually saying, I think I would want, if I had to, girl, boy, girl.
Really?
Or girl, girl, boy. Maybe girl, girl, boy.
Really? I would do boy first.
No.
That was so quick.
Well, I think I just wanted a daughter and then... maybe girl, girl, boy, I think. Because then I would want... I never had a sister, and I
wish
would
I had
love
a sister.
to have a sister. That's you're relatively close in age, so you can kind of pass it down. And then the two sisters have their little boy. Honestly,
That
modern
is
family.
sweet.
Modern family.
That's a really good dynamic, I feel like.
Yeah. And like I just think that's so cute. Like the girls can be friends and then they have their little boy brother who's
And then they
raised
gang up on them together.
Yeah, but then he's raised so well because he has like two sisters, so he understands girls
That's
also.
so true.
I think that's like the perfect dynamic.
I love to talk delusionally about this as if I can pick and choose like just so easily. But what I really hate is when people are like, I don't have a preference, just hope they're healthy. Like, it's a given that you hope they're healthy.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, like you have a preference.
I truly don't. Like I guess that would be my preference, but I really
I'm not
don't.
saying like 99%, I hope it's this. But it's like, you have like a little slight, like, you know, like in a perfect world.
Maybe. I guess I just kind of wouldn't care either way. Like there'd be no ounce of me that would be disappointed either way, I feel.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying, like,
but I think it's I think it's normal to feel that way. I think some people have an expectation in their head. I don't think it's wrong by any means.
Yeah.
I think there are people that are like, oh, I kind of want a boy, like whatever.
You know what I hate? In gender reveals, whenever people like post a video, like react to them, like, oh, like you can tell they're a little disappointed. Like, you should be forgetful of having a kid. Okay, like yeah, but like you said, like you can be like, oh, that's like not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
you know, like that's like a normal thing.
No, 100%.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about babies.
Please.
How is your new baby?
Oh, Rusty?
Yeah.
He's good. He started with a trainer. We have to implement those techniques with him every single day, which has been it's hard with the other two dogs because there's treats involved. So obviously they're just fucking pushing around. And then if I put them in the other room to like keep them away, they just bark. So it's been a little bit of a journey trying to navigate that, but it's going well.
That's good. Love that.
I have lots of things I want to talk about.
Okay, you can start first.
I wrote down a bunch of random stuff.
Okay.
First of all, I think this actually goes with, you said your biggest lesson of 2024 or whatever was like two things can be true at once. The California wildfires. It's so crazy to me that obviously there's been thousands of people's homes and structures burned down and people have lost their businesses, all of that. Horrible. But it's so crazy. Like I have seen some videos and people are like, anybody who's like moderately wealthy, they're like you can't be mad. Or oh, please, first world problems. I'm like
champagne problems.
Yeah, I'm like, how is your house burning down a first world problem? I don't care if you're Leighton Meester and Adam Brody who have a $7 million house. Like, that's still your house with all of your things that you worked hard for. And to say, or even if you didn't work hard, whatever, it's still your home.
Like, well, they have more money. Okay, yeah, but
it's still sad.
You're still like losing like where your kid took their first steps, like all the memories, all those little things. Like you can't get them back. Like you can be like, oh, they can pay for things and like get a new house, but that I can still have empathy for the fact that they like, lost their home and watched it burn to the ground.
It's just crazy because I also saw a TikTok that I was like, this is so fucking valid. It was like, why are we catering the internet to stupid people? And then they were like, why do we have to give a disclaimer for every single thing? Why, if somebody gets on this app and says like, ugh, my whatever order was wrong, this is so upsetting, like whatever, and just makes the video.
It's like, I know there are worse things, but XYZ.
Yeah.
It's like
that's a given that there are worse things. You can think of somebody in the worst situation you could ever imagine, like whatever that is to you, there's somebody that has it worse than that. 100%. Like there's always somebody that has it worse, and obviously.
If I broke my ankle and you sprained your wrist, would I be in more pain? Yes, but does it both still suck? Yes.
Yeah.
Pain is pain.
It just doesn't, and obviously when it's completely insensitive, like if somebody in California was getting on and being like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed my Pilates studio isn't open because of these fires, period. That's not a reason to complain.
Yes.
But it's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I saw Whitney Cummings. You know who that is? Yeah. She's like a comedian. She was crying and she was like, I'm evacuating my home. I don't even know what to take. She's like, I'm so upset. My podcast studio is going to be gone. And this is like devastating. People, the comments are filled. Every single comment was mean. It was like, please, like your podcast studio, that's what you're upset about. It's like, that's something that she worked really hard at. And I'm sure that's still upsetting.
That's just literally how the internet is, which is just so annoying and so frustrating because if we all just could see, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
The world would be such a better place.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, it's upsetting no matter whose house is getting burned down. There's also lots of not rich people who have their house being burned down.
Also,
as well.
like, are they loaded? Yes. But, like, they're not, like, the most loaded people on the planet.
No.
And,
they're not the rich. Like,
exactly.
Also, I can't even imagine, like, after thousands and thousands of houses are burned down in one area. Like, I can't even imagine the process of going about rebuilding. Like, I feel like you'd probably be on some wait list and it already takes probably like, what, a year to rebuild a house maybe? So it's like, I can't imagine.
Well, did you see that this like company had like removed people's insurance for like fire insurance?
Like State Farm
a few months ago and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine, where do you even start with that?
Yeah, if you
know?
Yeah. Even if you had insurance, I can't imagine. But yeah, if you don't, that's even crazier. And I don't even know what you would do.
And not even just like the houses, but like think about the environment surrounding it. Like, for example, like in Alaska, like there was a fire, I feel like probably around the time I was born, like maybe like 30 years ago. And like even now, like when I drive out to like my cabin, like the area around it, it's still all burnt.
Yeah.
Like all that time, like getting just like the area itself, like surrounding it to not look burnt as fuck.
I know.
It's like, it takes forever.
I know. People's schools, like, where do you just go to a new school
like
all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I guess.
And, like the redistricting, like all that stuff,
Yeah. People's
so
lives
horrible.
flipped completely upside down.
Like so quickly, too.
Yeah. And you never really, I guess maybe in California, you should prepare for that a little bit more. I mean, obviously, like, not blaming anybody who doesn't, but I guess, like, in New York, I've never even thought in my brain, like, what would I take if there was a fire? You know what I'm saying? And so that is crazy to think, like, what are the things you would grab? I will say maybe it's because I don't have much sentiment because I'm very early on in my life, I would say. Like, I'm sure if you have a childhood home, like, I feel like out of my childhood home, there'd be things that I feel a lot more strongly about. But in my current apartment right now, because I was kind of thinking that, I was like, besides my dogs, there's nothing I would be, like, genuinely, like, heartbroken over losing, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like...
I couldn't think.
Like, I grabbed my computer.
Yeah.
I grabbed our passports.
Yeah.
Our birth certificate. Like, everything that's in this, like, little safe.
Yeah. If I had the time, I would probably grab some, like, clothes and bags that I love. But obviously, I could live without those.
Yeah. Like, to me, I guess, like, everything is, like, replaced. I probably got this scrapbook that Kevin gave me. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's probably it. Like, everything else, But, again, I think it's different when you have children.
No, 100%. 100%. Like, when there's more sentiment there and you have like a life built, I feel like you would feel more strongly.
I'm already ruining my New Year's resolution of saying, I'm saying 100% to everything
I
I'm
know.
saying.
It's okay.
But it's how I feel.
I get it.
Like, here's my thing with like the resolutions. I'm like, yes, I'm trying to work on these things, but at the same time, why am I fighting what brings me joy and what I feel? For example, I said I was done smoking weed for the month. I changed my mind. And bitches be, well, you can't even see this because I've blocked every bitch that said it, but anyone who was like, you're addicted to weed. I go weeks without smoking weed all the time whenever I'm on a trip or like weekends, whatever. But like, weed makes me happy. And I will quit when I decide to get pregnant. Until then, I'm going to get high and have some giggles to Modern Family while I have the munchies on my couch. And I see no problem with that. Alcohol, I don't even miss it.
No, me neither. I'm actually loving it. I may never drink again.
I will drink for my bachelorette at my wedding, but after that, I might be like, donezo.
I don't know. I don't really miss it at all.
Like, I didn't even really realize that it wasn't a thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't like, oh, like I wish it's Friday night and we're not like, you know?
I wasn't feeling
I was like, I've just been chilling every day.
Granted, again, I think if I was single, I would feel so differently. Because it's not even that I'd need the alcohol, it's that I'd want to go out.
Yes.
So I totally am not judging
we haven't
anybody.
like been out without alcohol because I don't see like maybe this is the me problem. I don't see the point in going out to the bar if I'm not drinking.
Yeah, I've honestly, my sober January is going quite well. I've been in a lot of situations where I would have usually drank. I've gone to dinner like basically every night, and like Reed's ordered a glass of wine, whatever, and I'm sitting there like, no, I'll have sparkling water. And it's definitely an adjustment, but it's not hard. Like I thought it would be hard. I don't know, just the mental.
Well, it's like a habit. You know?
And then, but it really, once I just ordered my sparkling water and had something to sip on, I was like, period, I don't need this. But yeah, I think I would go out to the bar, like I wouldn't want to, but if all my girlfriends were going out to the bar and they were like single and come on, I would go to like hang out with them. But I wouldn't be like, Reed, let's go to the bar right now. Like right now. I don't know. Yeah. Also, I think I was thinking about this. If all of my friends were like, oh, I want to do a Saturday, day drink, and it was more casual where people are having drinks, I could do that. The only thing I just now would be a club where everyone's shit-faced and not speaking English. And
it's not fun to be around drunk people when you're not also drunk.
Very drunk people.
I mean, like people that are like
hammered, not making sense,
words,
repeating
like,
sentences.
Just there, like they keep telling you things they already told you, all those things.
It's like I don't mind if somebody's
and
a little
by the way,
tipsy.
I'm that person.
Yeah.
But like, it's fun to be like that around other people that are also on the same level.
No, I feel like what happens when I am not drinking and I'm around people who are and very, very drunk. Because if somebody's just a little tipsy, kind of saying some stuff and whatever, and being a little dramatic, I think it's funny. But when you're having a conversation with someone and you're realizing this person is not even literally comprehending what I'm saying, like they are so drunk, it's going in one ear, out the other. There's no point of me even speaking. I feel I just shut down and I'm like, I'm not even going to waste my breath because this person doesn't know what we're talking about.
That's so true.
So that's not fun. But I haven't even been in that situation yet, so.
But basically, if things bring you joy, don't get rid of them.
Or maybe do.
It depends
in
on
moderation.
It depends on what it is. Like me saying 100% in dead ass does no one any harm. Yeah. Not even myself.
No, that's so fine. The bride washing her wedding makeup off. Thoughts?
The way that she spoke about everything was just rude. Like, also, like, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes. If my wedding day, I'm thinking back to prom, for example. Like, I hated my makeup on prom, so I washed it off and redid it. And I know, like, this was, like, 10 plus years ago. But, like, my first instinct would have been, like, let me make a video about it, But I feel like if you were in a rush on your wedding day, you wouldn't need to film you bitching and redoing your makeup. Like, that part is weird to me. Because if you're like, I'm in such a hurry, I need to get this done. Like, to walk down the aisle on the biggest day of your life, you don't make a video bitching and complaining. Also, I saw she posted the video just now, and this happened in August.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you just wanted to, like, be a bitch?
Did you see the makeup artist's video back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you could have spoke up or said something, but also, like, I would get it had the makeup looked, like, very different from what she ended up doing herself. it looked the same to me.
It did look the same. I do think it can be a shock when you get your makeup done.
For sure.
And being like, wait, this isn't how I do it. However, it is odd because she did have a trial. What I think is like, if you did the trial, you thought it was okay, and she did say there were some switches that she wanted to be made, but overall, like, she liked it. If the makeup overall, like, the technique was just terrible, like, the wing is, like, she didn't even have a wing, but I'm saying if your wing was, like, crooked and whatever, and you could tell this makeup artist is just literally bad at her job and, like, shouldn't be a makeup artist, I think it would be valid to wipe it off and be like, oh my God, I've had a horrible experience, right? Because I've seen people do that where obviously it's not for their wedding, but like they go get their makeup done at Sephora and it's like literally actually awful makeup. And you're like, how is somebody employed to be doing that makeup? But I mean, the photo that she showed, whether she liked it or not is up to her discretion. But the makeup looked like good. It looked like good technique. So I think the makeup artist clearly was talented. If you had an issue with it, you could have spoke up in the moment and been like, hey, actually, I don't like how you did this. Please change it. And I get that's hard. Yeah. I will say, I think it's immaturity. The girl is 20. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 98% sure she's 20.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of adding up in my head. No shame to get married, whatever age you think works for you. I just think that's something I probably would have done when I was like 19, 20. I feel like I would have not spoken up for myself and felt like...
Yeah, that I get not speaking up. My thing is, like, she could have been like, I don't like makeup and just washed off and redid it. But she just bitched about her and shat on the artist the entire time in the video. And that part to me was where it was unnecessary. Because you can not like your makeup and redo it. That's not where I think there's a problem. I think it's when you're just shitting on a person so much. For what?
Yeah.
To just take it off and redo it and say, I didn't like it. This is what I didn't said. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the video was definitely unnecessary and it'd definitely be super hurtful as a makeup artist watching that. Again, if she was just bad at her job, I would feel like, all right, whatever, you're allowed to review a service. But it doesn't feel like she was bad at her job. It feels like there was just a miscommunication.
I'm just so confused with miscommunication. Is like, you did a trial and then you proceeded to move forward. So I'm like, what was that? What changed?
I don't know.
That was that substantial.
Yeah, I know. I think it's also, I get hypercritical, I will say, when my makeup is done. Even if I'm like, this person did a good job, it's just a weird adjustment to look at your face like that. And also, I do think with wedding makeup specifically, you are really catering it, I feel, for like
the whole day,
the photos to look good too and stuff like that. So it might be caked on a little heavier than obviously what you would do for every day. If you're wearing very, very natural makeup and then you're having this kind of more full glam, full coverage, when you're looking up close in the mirror, I will say, like, I've done it where I'm like, oh my God, it was fucking terrible. Yeah. But obviously you go take a photo, it looks gorgeous because that's kind of what it was more intended for. So I think it's just, I'm sure maybe you would get in your head over analyzing it, and that's maybe where the miscommunication could come in. But at the end of the day, the video felt unnecessary.
I just want to know why it sat in her drafts for 5-6 months.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, okay.
Yeah, like she thought about that and then posted it. That's what's interesting also.
Yeah. But the whole time I was watching the video of her washing her makeup off, is her friend in the back was like, yeah, just agreeing with her because like it's the girl's like about to get married. I was just like thinking like if I'm bitching about something on my wedding day and you're like, yeah, she's a cunt, she's a bitch. Yeah. You're so right, 100%. Dead yes.
Yeah. No, the girl was like, you have plenty of time, you're so good, like whatever. The girl was being a really good friend.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out to that girl.
What's that TikTok sound where it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's like what that vibe is.
Yeah. That was actually, except for the other day, actually, I was going to say that's one of the things I feel that I think is one of your best qualities.
What?
I don't know. This is going. It's correlated, but like, you're not a person that needs to be reassured 500,000 times about most things. Like there's some things, or you don't even ask for reassurance. Like I feel like you don't sit there and you're not like, oh, does this look okay? Are you sure? Is this, I get it to some extent. I've probably done that as well. But the people that don't let it stop and you've told them 8 times, yes, it looks so good. I think you look great. Like your answer's not going to change on the 8th time. You're not somebody that does that. And I appreciate that. I try not to be like that either for the most part, but.
No, I feel like you're very good with that too.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons like why we like work well.
Yeah. Well, you're just a very decisive person on everything, which sometimes I feel like that's...
See, I'm very decisive and you're just very confident. So I feel like those two things work.
Yeah. I'm not as decisive. I don't know.
But like you're confident in your choices.
Yeah, for the most part.
Like you stand by like what you choose.
Yeah. I'm always just like,
because of that, you're not questioning it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just decisive.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I don't think that you would be like, does my makeup look okay? Are you sure? Like 15 times on your wedding day.
It's giving cunt.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not giving cunt.
No, yeah.
Only 2 options.
Yeah. Grippy socks.
Like Pilates?
This is so random. Pissed me off.
I thought you meant like being the psych ward.
No. Not the psych ward.
Or just the hospital in general. They're always there.
My solid core is under renovation. I go barefoot at solid core, as do most people. When I look around, most people don't. Like, you have to not wear shoes, obviously. You can wear a grippy sock if you want, but they don't require it. I went to SLT, which is literally like the exact same thing as solid core. The megaformer is exactly the same. And it's very pretty much heavy weight when you're doing squats and stuff like that. I walk in and maybe I'm wrong. I liked SLT. I had a good experience. I've gone twice now. Whatever. But I was like, I think that you should have put in very bold letters when booking the class, like grippy socks required. Because I kind of feel like I got scammed into showing up with no grippy socks. And then they're like, oh, well, you can buy some for, $20-something. And I'm just, whatever, I'm here. I'll buy the fucking socks. I don't care that much. But it does feel like that's a little annoying. And then I get it's a requirement, like no shade to anybody at SLT, obviously. The girl was actually so sweet. The front desk girl, so absolutely no shade to her. That's just literally the requirement. It's not her fault. But I also think the socks, I personally find myself slipping in them a little bit. Doesn't matter if there's grips on the bottom. You're doing such heavy weights on the machine, like your squats and stuff. You're using a lot of springs and a lot of tension. I find myself still sliding in the socks. I'm like, I would have a much better grip on the machine if it was just my barefoot. And I think that they maybe require you to have it for like cleanliness, but I'm like, just hire somebody to wipe down the fucking machine. How many times do I have to say it? Stop giving us these little dick ass 2 wipes with no, like, they're not wet out. Today my wipes were so not wet, it was insane. They were bone dry. I was like, this actually did nothing. Like, stop making all these fucking stupid rules where you have to wipe down the machine and yourself with these 2 little stupid wipes and wear the grippy socks so your bare feet don't touch it. Let people have their bare feet on the machine and wipe down the machine properly with a rag and cleaning spray. It would be way more environmentally friendly, and it would take 2 fucking seconds. Like, and people keep, the thing I've seen is like, oh, the instructors don't have time to do this. I'm not saying the instructors should do it. I understand instructors like don't get paid that much and all of that. I don't think the instructors should do it. I think solid core or SLT or whatever
class
should have. Why can't the front desk person also just in between, like that?
They do at New York Pilates.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, the front desk person works the front desk, and then in between they go and they wipe down the machines. I've seen them do it. It takes literally 3-4 minutes maybe.
Well, I saw one of the arguments in your comment section was there's not enough time between classes. Okay, make the classes 5 minutes more apart.
Yeah, literally.
It seems like a pretty simple.
Also, I know it takes less than 5 minutes, and the solid core, I don't know, it just seems crazy that. Also, what if I've had situations also in solid core, I think about this, where I'm like, fuck, something has popped up, and I'm like, oh my God, I realize what time it is. I'm like, I need to leave actually like 10 minutes early from this class, which I wouldn't normally do, obviously. But I literally have like missed shit and been late to shit because I'm like, who's gonna wipe down the machine? That's literally like, because I'm just like, I don't know that because they don't give you the wipes till the end of the class, so I like can't leave early. Not that I would ever do that unless it was like an emergency. But anyway, that's just my little beef.
I get it. I don't have any beef right now, honestly.
Okay.
Which is huge for me.
That is.
Also, I went and got allergy testing. I'm not allergic to anything new. I thought I was because I've been having these weird reactions on occasion. Turns out I'm not. A little bit disappointed by the result.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping that would be like an answer and I could get a solution.
It's like when you're bloated on your period and you want to think you're pregnant because you want like an answer and an explanation.
And a reason, an excuse, whatever it may be. So now I'm just like back to square one, which is a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Life. I also ordered my wedding invites yesterday.
Ooh.
I'm really excited. They're very plain, but like my version of plain, which I like. Never get tired of it. So they have little bows all over them. I'll show them later. But it's a big win for me. But not to fill them all out, and that part sucks.
That's crazy that
not fill them all out. I'm sorry, put them all together, like the packages together.
Well, and then people send them back, and then you have to go through them and categorize it.
And like you can choose to do like an RSVP online, but like there's some older people invited, so I just thought it'd just be easier this way. And also, I like physical things, so it's easier for me. And I look forward to checking the mail every day and seeing who is saying yes to the ball and who isn't.
Okay. Period.
Yeah, but super excited.
Cute.
coming up quick.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, I was like, when you were like high and came up with the idea for your board game.
Yes.
That's how I felt last night, except I wasn't high. I've literally never smoked weed, but I felt high and I like wrote my maid of honor speech, a very rough draft of it. Like on my iPad, I was like using the pen and I was just like scribbling it out. And then I was like going back and forth and like making all of these things. And I was like, okay, I have like a rough draft here.
Okay, give me like
No.
Give me like anything.
No.
Give me anything from it.
No.
Any vibe, nothing?
No. Going for like on the funnier side, not crazy funny and not inappropriate funny, but trying to like loosely lean into a funny vibe.
Like, give me a little bit. Give me like one little bit of.
No.
Give me something.
No.
Give me something.
No.
Hallie.
No, it's too rough also right now.
Just give me a little
No.
Why? Because you're going to cry?
No.
Because you love me so
Yes, because I love you so much. I do love you so much. I'm not going to cry.
My Shayla.
My Shayla. But no, you can't get a sneak peek until it's at least like a
So I'm
way
not
more
gonna cry?
a way more cleaned up version. I don't think so. I mean, it's nice, and I added like some really nice parts at the end, but it's not like I don't think I can tap into the you're gonna sob crying like this is the most.
Not sob, but like, I like to shed a tear.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. I think it's cute. I think it's not too long where everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
Okay, great.
I think it's nice at the end. It's like a sweet little whatever. I think it's good. The rough draft of it.
Well, I only have a few months left until
Yeah.
I can hear it. It's
Yeah.
a good thing I'm patient.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm going to hack into your iPad. Tom and Zendaya are engaged.
So cute.
I'm really excited for them. I'm not a big celebrity couple person. I will say I don't really follow many, and there's none that I'm really that big of a fan of. I am a fan of them.
Yeah.
I love how much they cherish each other and their relationships and how they speak about one another and how they keep everything offline and aren't ever putting anything in your face. And feel like you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Yeah.
And they're both very respectful. I think they both found each other when they were very young and like in the industry, and how they protected each other. It's just I respect it a lot, and I'm excited for them. And Tom Holland like said he was gonna like quit acting once like he has kids. So I'm like,
That's crazy.
probably never ever hear from them ever again. Like once they're married. So
Yeah. I think
happy for
Zendaya will
them,
keep
though.
going.
no, I think she will. But
Like, she's too big, I feel like. And she's in everything. I feel
in
like
everything.
there's no way she's going to stop. Like
But-
Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've really seen him in anything else personally.
A lot of other stuff.
Is he? Okay, I've never seen anything. Not that he's super fucking famous and talented. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that he's not. I'm just saying, like, I feel like Zendaya's the it girl. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that she's also a tall queen and he's a short king.
Yeah, I do. I really do appreciate that.
It's so funny.
I was like deep diving into like, because they don't put very much online.
Yeah.
You know, them, but before they were like dating, their friendship with like all their videos and stuff, and then like dancing together. But I do love, my favorite thing about Tom Holland ever is his lip sync battle.
Yeah.
Performance. Like,
Of course.
He ate.
Yeah, he did.
Like that was beautiful.
I wonder if they were like dating at the time or if
They
they were fully dating at the time. Okay.
Yeah, I watched someone explain all of their lore for like 33 minutes yesterday.
Because normally a guy doing that would give me the ick, but I think I'd be like, oh, that was
People
so
were like,
fun.
this is when she was like, that's man forever.
That's so funny.
But yeah, no.
He seems very confident. And
He is, and I'm not like one to hype up celebrities for like being who they are, just like from the bits you get, and just taking that for like that's who they are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They seem like two of the most genuine
yeah.
people who like what you see is what you get,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like that about most people on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, celebrities, I mean, influencers
Period.
are different. I
Yeah.
feel like,
I agree.
but yeah, excited. I'm also very into pop culture Jeopardy right now.
Oh. Yeah, you have been watching.
I love game shows, but Jeopardy I could never really get down with because I don't know shit about shit. So that was never really my show ever growing up. And I watched like basically every other game show. But this one, I'm like, I know these things.
Okay,
And
cute.
I love that I can know the answers and actually watch a new
I
show.
honestly don't even know if I would be good at that. I feel like,
I feel like you know a lot of the things.
you
that
think?
are on.
Okay. I feel like
I mean,
don't
there's a
know.
lot that I don't know, but like
Okay.
I can at least like watch it and like know some of them with
Okay.
pop culture versus like regular Jeopardy. Your girl doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and have better guesses. I get
yeah.
that. Okay.
So like that's been fun for me, but that's my late night show as of currently.
Okay. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll try it. I'm trying to get back into reading also. My late night.
Oh, have you gotten back into your book yet since last time?
Yeah, I read 5 pages.
5 is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And that's more than you've gotten through since you started it, so that's a win.
I got the Hatch alarm clock. And so that's there's like a nightly wind down that takes like 30 minutes. So I want to start doing the nightly wind down. Well, it's like plays this little music in the back and then read my book for 30 minutes and then go to sleep. Hopefully sound, my Hatch told me to have my bed as a no phone zone. So I'm really trying for that.
Okay. See, I love my bed.
I never go in the bed unless it's going to sleep.
The thing is, I've tried every tip I can find to not go back into your bed. Like, I make my bed every day so I don't get back in it. That's never once worked for me because I love being horizontal. I love laying down. I love a blankie. I love a squishmallow. I love just cuddling with the dogs. And the couch does not hit like a bed does.
I agree. I think the bed
and I'm pretty sure actually there's an episode of me saying the complete opposite because I used to feel differently.
Okay.
I love my bed.
No, I love the bed. And honestly, I love watching TV in bed. It's like my favorite thing ever. And I used to be that girl. But like I would never watch TV on the couch, only my bed. But now it's the complete opposite. Rita's such a couch person.
Yeah.
And we don't have a bed or we don't have a TV in the bed.
You don't?
No. And also I don't like going in like I used to have a TV in my bed and I would try to get Reed in there, but he wanted to be on the couch. So we would like kind of argue about it. But then finally I like would convince him to go to the bed. I'm not kidding though. It'd be like a show we're watching together. Within 5 minutes, every time he'd be passed out asleep. And I couldn't stand it because then he wouldn't understand what's happening in the show and it bothered me. So I decided the couch was the route because he wouldn't fall asleep really on the couch while watching TV. So we've just been couch people, and we don't really have a good place either in this bedroom for a TV. Right. So we just don't have one in there. So I don't know. I hate it because I think the couch is way, way, way more uncomfortable. It's ass.
Yeah, I love sleep so much. I'm obsessed with it. And not even just sleep, but just rest. Like, I will do on my computer all day in bed. Like even when I worked like my corporate job, that I was working from home. I was working from home in my bed.
Okay. Like I hate sleeping.
I think it's also I hate being cold.
Yeah.
It's like I just feel so warm and toasty and comfy in my bed.
I get that. I was like thinking about this.
When did you first start cussing?
Probably not till I was a little bit older. I wasn't for like religious reasons really. I don't know. I don't have a great memory of it, maybe like 15, 14, somewhere around there. It wasn't like, because I was like, oh, I'm a good girl. I just really wasn't like negative or mean-spirited. I feel like in middle school, nor did I have a reason to be like, fuck. I also feel like the things people said at my middle school, it was all to be like outrageously inappropriate and offensive. It wasn't like that's what people would say, and I didn't fuck with that. So I just feel like I didn't cuss till at least high school. Okay. What about you? You said you didn't for a while, right?
Oh, I was like, I used to get mad at people for cussing. I was like,
I
was like a fucking hall monitor. Okay, like I was terrible. Like I was annoying as fuck. But I just like was taught like, we don't cuss. Like, I went to church all the time. I don't even know why, but it was the worst thing on the planet to be cussing. And I remember the first cuss word I ever said. I said bitch. I called this girl Bailey a bitch in 8th grade. It's like it was yesterday. In the fucking hallway, she like goes to my locker. I don't know what we were fighting about, but I called her a bitch in the middle of the fight, and everyone was like, because like I did not cuss. Mm-hmm. And after that, slowly just went around more and more downhill as time went on.
Yeah.
And now I am who I am. But my mom still like has an issue with me cussing. Like when I'm home, like when I go home, like we don't cuss. Like
okay, wow.
My grandparents, I won't cuss around people.
She must hate your social media.
No, so literally when I was on TikTok, my grandma finally made an account, like probably like last year, maybe the year before. I'm not really sure. And she goes, oh my gosh, your mouth. Like, fix it, basically. And I'm like, I am who I am. But I did feel bad about it for a while. I used to get my mouth washed out with soap when I would cuss.
Oh my God.
Like, I was not a cussing household.
No. My parents were, I don't think my parents overly whatever, but my mom would say fuck. And like, it was just kind of like,
well,
yeah.
I feel like when you're taught, like, no, you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when you're surrounded, it's like, okay, that's just it.
Yeah. I feel like I really didn't start cussing till like Tana Moja. I watched her on TikTok on YouTube, and she would cuss so much. So then I just picked it up.
When I went to Kevin's parents' house for the first time, like I knew like Kevin like went to fucking Catholic school all his fucking life. I'm thinking we don't cuss, right? You know, he's like, we're having dinner. He's like, fuck that. And I'm like, thinking like he's like something bad's about to happen, and they like all cuss. And I'm like, oh, okay, like this, but I'm still like even around all of them, they all cuss. I'm like, this is just weird.
Okay.
Like I'm not, because like when I'm home, I still don't cuss.
Okay.
It just like it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I say as I had sex at home.
Yes, that's interesting. No, I mean, I don't like swear around Reed's family or anything, and I really honestly don't think I've ever heard them. I'm sure they know I do, but I just wouldn't, because I don't know, it's somebody else's family. But around my own, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, not cussing is also just so hard. I tried to like be better about it for a while, and it's just like too tough. Okay,
what I was gonna say though about people not cussing, it's just people will come across my For You page and they'll be like lip syncing, and it's like they're full grown adults. And if you like, I'm generalizing, and it's obviously like if you don't swear and that's just who you are, period, do you. But it's like the people that I've just seen, people like even from my high school, okay, that like have a TikTok, it'll come across my For You page, and they're like singing a fucking Doja Cat song, and they're like little, and like they won't say the word bitch or something, and I'm like, Mackenzie, I have literally seen you say the N-word hard R, and that's where you draw the line. Like seriously, it's just to me like it's the people that don't cuss because they're so good or whatever, but it's like you're actually the worst person I've ever met in my entire life, and you that's where you draw the line is the word bitch, because like I really think you need to get your priorities straight.
My favorite thing right now is saying, that's where you choose to draw the line. Like, with everything. Like, that's my new, like, my favorite comeback with anyone now is that right there. Like, that's where you choose to draw the line.
It's like hypocrisy.
And it really makes you be like, oh, wow, like, that's the best way to eat someone up, I swear.
It is. It's a good line.
My new favorite thing.
Okay, being friends with a friend's boyfriend.
I think me and Reed are besties.
Yeah, I guess I can't relate to this. I see a lot of videos, like, a lot of videos with a lot of people agreeing.
I'm kidding, by the way.
And they're like, what?
Like, I don't think we're best friends.
I think you're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not your best friend.
Yeah, like when I'm just saying.
Like, you don't want to fuck him. Yes, we all know that. I see a lot of videos of people agreeing, being like, I'm sorry, I do not want to be friends with your boyfriend. Like, you should not be friends with your friend's boyfriend.
Don't bring him around me.
Place. And listen, there's such a line of if you're like your girlfriends and bringing your boyfriend around them, like, no, I don't think that on a girl's night you need to be like, can my boyfriend come? No, he doesn't need to come. Like, period. I think if you have couples friends and that's whatever, but I think that's where you really become friends with the other person's significant other, is like if you both have boyfriends.
Like when you make them have a play date.
Yeah. And then it's like, I also consider myself like really good friends with Kevin, but like, I still think I would be friends with Kevin either way, because I'd just be around you two because you're like my best friend. But I don't know, because I'm just like, how do you not be friends with? I think it's weird when you have if you tried to have this outside, me and Kevin were like, hey, we're gonna go get lunch, and like you're not invited. Okay, yeah, I'd be like, that's fucking weird. Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't even think that would be weird.
I don't even think it'd be weird, because obviously I know. I'm trying to think of somebody that you're less close with. Like, you know, if somebody you're not as good of friends with was like, Kevin, can we go get lunch? And like you weren't invited. I don't know. Not that you would think he's going to cheat on you. It's just an odd.
I would just be like, oh, they're planning something for me.
Oh, okay. Delusion. Like, that's so funny.
I think it's also different now. Like, I think a couple of years ago, I would feel differently. I think because of now, like where I am currently in my life and who I have in my life, I'm very secure with everyone I choose to have in my surroundings, even people that I'm acquaintances with. It's like I think I've chosen good people like in my circle to where I don't think anything's weird at all ever. Yeah. Whereas like me a couple of years ago, I'd be like, everyone here has bad intentions.
Well, yeah, like in college especially and stuff like that age. Yeah.
So I think it comes with like a couple things. Like the older I get, the more obviously mature I get, but also the more secure I become with myself and like who I choose to have around me. Like who I choose in a partner, obviously, and people that I have like as my close friends, where nothing will ever be odd to me. Mm-hmm. But like before, like I didn't like myself, I was insecure, I didn't trust any bitch, and everyone else was always on some weird shit, and I chose fucking bad men. Yeah. It's like everything was off.
Yeah, I get that.
But I think you should be able to like be on decent terms with like most people that your friends are dating.
I need to rant.
Okay. I love a rant.
I post a video of me just going to Teresi, and some bitch is in my comments being like, if a man had to drive my car to a date, I would get the ick so quick. Okay, I make more money than Reed. No shit. Like,
We've
it's
talked about this a million times.
Like, no shit.
I don't think any bitch, like, actually, you go, and then I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. Go ahead. Sorry.
One, I think it's so weird as other women that we are essentially, that's one of the things I get the most hate for. And you cannot like me, you cannot like Reed, you cannot like our relationship, that's fine. But to be mad at me and shaming me or him for me making more money than him is so fucking weird. Why is it shameful to him? People act like it's shameful to him that I make more money than him. Why is that shameful? I genuinely don't understand that. Why should that be an insult towards him that, oh, your girlfriend makes more money than you? Yeah, she does. And Reed thinks it's cool. And I don't pay his bills. He pays his own shit. Like, he can live without me just fucking fine. He did before. He has a great job. He's getting a bonus from his fucking finance, whatever. He works in finance. He has a great job. Like, that's not shameful on any level for anything about him. Why is it shameful that just because I make an obscene amount of money for somebody who is 24 years old? I mean, for anybody, obviously, like, I make a great amount of money, but especially being this age, like, that's pretty unheard of. That should be like, wow, that's really sick that your girlfriend makes that much money. Like, why is it a negative thing towards him? And why is it a negative thing towards me? Like, oh my God. Yeah. People act like I'm dating some brokey loser who, like, bums off of me. We live in New York City. No one has a car. Like, it's not a normal thing. People being like, acting like I live in Alabama, like, he has to drive your car to a date. No, I just have a car, which is, again, an abnormal thing for anybody in the city to be having. And we drove there, and I like to be a passenger princess. Like, whatever. Why is that a bad thing? I just can't understand it.
You're preaching to the fucking choir. I agree. It's so annoying. My biggest thing is, like, most men prior to, like, Kevin, for example, like, had an issue with it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm glad that I have someone who's secure enough, like, with themselves and who they are as a person where it's not a fucking issue.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. I love that. Like, that's, can we talk about where that's at, please? Like, I hate being, like, shit on for, like, you're doing this. Okay, also, half the shit, not even half the shit, 95% of the shit, and also where we live, is a choice that I'm making.
Yeah.
Like, things that I want to do. Like, it's not like, he's like, you can do this and you're paying for it. It's like, no, I'm choosing to do it with it, and he just, like, goes along with it.
But also, people act like Reed and Kevin are normal.
Yeah.
25, 27-year-olds, like, very normal, very, like, completely on par with everyone else. And people act like, just because in comparison, like, oh, like, whatever. No, it's just a really cool thing that we're able to be really successful and make a lot of money. That should be sick. That should be a praise to us, not a diss to them, you know?
Yeah, or a diss to us for, like, being
with like, broke, like, they're not.
No, I know. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. And again, yeah, I'm glad that Reed is totally fine with it, because I could see that being kind of an ego thing for a lot of guys. Like, when I bought my house, our neighbors, we met them, and you know, they're like an older couple in their 50s, and I could tell they were looking at us so confused, like, why the fuck do these, you know, 20-somethings have this house here? And we saw them out at a bar later, and the guy comes up to Reed, and he's like, I just have to ask, what do you do for work? And Reed's like, I work in finance. He's like, oh my God, I knew that's how you were able to afford this house. I knew he had to do something. And Reed so confidently was just like, oh, I didn't buy the house, she did. And then he was like, looking at me like so confused, like, women can make money, like, shocked. I apologize if I've told this story before, but I'm just like, the fact that Reed wasn't like, oh yeah, like, whatever. He was just like, oh yeah, like, she bought the house, no issue.
Yeah.
I just don't know why that's supposed to be a negative thing or an embarrassing thing. I'm not embarrassed that I own a car.
Yeah, no, it's super annoying. What I was gonna say though is like, you saw like Paige and Craig broke up from like Bravo TV, whatever. She announced that they broke up on the podcast, and I saw a bunch of videos being like, well, she said it on the podcast because like she wants to like make money from it. And like I listened to the episode, and she said it on the podcast, and like I feel the same way with like us, because people that listen to a podcast for an hour long, like, you normally have to like someone.
Yeah.
Like, you have to like, it's like more of a safe space. I'm more likely to say something on here than I would
100%.
on. Actually, most things I've said on here I wouldn't say on TikTok or Instagram, and I don't outwardly put it out there. But the podcast, like, you find it, you listen to it, like, you care enough to listen to it. So I'm like, oh, it's like a safe space. So I'm saying like like Kevin read the money thing, like it's always going to be on here. He's
Yeah.
like, there's no way in hell I'm dealing with people like in their negativity.
No.
Like, already coming there like to a 15-second video, whatever, with their mind made up. Like people on the podcast, they get it. Like you get it. Like everyone that's here, like you get it.
Yeah, and I think I actually was talking to Aspen Ovard about this because I had dinner with her, and obviously she's like an OG YouTuber, and I was kind of asking her just like advice wise. I was like, hey, like does it ever bother you about, you know, like the hate and everything? And I was like, do you find YouTube to be a more safe space? I'm sure you can relate to this because you do YouTube as well. And she's like, no, like, you know, TikTok's obviously way worse because it's just random haters that see your video for 2 seconds. They come click on it and, you know, leave a mean comment and keep scrolling, whatever. But YouTube, you really do have to be dedicated to be watching 15, 20, 30 minutes of somebody's weekday, whatever. And like, that's way more of a commitment where I do not feel you're going to get as much hate. But she was like, the hate comments are way more detailed and way meaner because they're like, they actually know things about your life. Yeah. But I agree. Like, this is, I'll say things on here that I wouldn't. It's like, if we said that on TikTok, it doesn't matter if it's so valid and true. There'd still be people like just randomly like
just calling us fucking losers.
Yeah. Somebody literally was like again, say what you want about my relationship for like other things online that you've seen and you don't like or whatever. But somebody literally was like, your boyfriend is the worst because he didn't open the car door for you. I was literally like, one, that's crazy. I open my own doors and I'm too impatient to wait for and stand back for somebody to open the door. I'm most of the time like grabbing the door because I just want it fucking open. I'm cold, whatever. Also, Reed fucking got the car out of the garage. Like, I wouldn't expect him to fucking open my door anyway. Like, I honestly find that a weird little like more old school tradition. But he pulled the car out of the garage. He went and picked it up for me, which is what I really wanted. That was the kind gesture because I didn't want to walk to the garage to go get it. He pulled up outside of the apartment with cars behind him. I literally ran, jumped into the car, and we drove away. Like, was he supposed to be like, hey everyone, so sorry, I need to open this door for her behind us?
What's so frustrating is like I know we're literally beating a dead horse every single fucking week, but all the hate is from women.
Yeah.
If I'm getting hate from a man, I actually do not give a shit at all. But it is so like disheartening to be like, why are you hating?
Yeah.
Like a man, whatever, who gives a shit? You as a woman are just like choosing to like be fucking an asshole. For what?
It's like because I expect misogyny from men, but women having internalized misogyny is so sad to me. I think we all have it in some ways, but like I actively try to battle against that every single day. And I think that the people that just lean into it and leave horrible hate comments about
it's always a
women succeeding or whatever, it's like, really?
Like, I'm just lame. Like even like this like Paige and Craig breakup. Like I saw so many videos on my free page. People have been, well, she wasted his time. He is a grown man. If he felt like his time was being wasted, he could have left.
And you don't know
Everyone has free will.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, how about like, good for her for being with someone she loved and then not feel like she had to conform to something.
Yeah.
Like, he's not picking you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
It's so weird.
But I just like,
Also,
women are making me angry lately.
Before I ever want to, like, even when I try to form a judgment on somebody's situation, whatever it is, like in my own head, I would never leave a comment. But if in my own head, I'm judging somebody for their breakup or whatever, you always have to take everything with such a fucking grain of salt because it is like or even what is the truth that's out there, this narrative that's being spun, whatever. But like, think of a horrible thing that's happened in your life, a very embarrassing thing, a very like personal thing, whatever. It's your own breakup, whatever. Imagine if that was then put out online and other people that are very loosely tied to the situation are giving their opinions, and then it's like and his friends are chiming in and this and that, and you have this whole like whatever. Imagine how you think you would be portrayed and how that situation would look online. Like we all have our own personal shit that if that was online, like you would maybe feel embarrassed or you would feel whatever. So it's like to jump onto somebody else and hate on them is odd to me.
No, I agree. I hate the hate. Stop the hate.
It's all we do all day. It's just complain about it.
I feel like, but it's because it's so prominent in our lives. Like this podcast is about like what happens in our life, and like it's just constant.
Yeah.
And like I'm such a defensive person, and like I've tried to work on like being less defensive, but like I get so defensive, even especially like about you, and like you guys can tell on this podcast, because I'm like, you're a good fucking person. I just like, it's constant. Like you literally can't do anything right, and it's just like so frustrating. Cause I'm like, go hate on someone who actually deserves hate.
I know.
Like it's just like really.
I know
me.
a bitch. I almost made I made a video and I was just like, I refrained myself from posting, so I'm going to complain on here.
That's your resolution.
Yeah.
You're following through, and I'm really proud of you, because you know what? A couple years ago, you would have just posted it.
I know. So I didn't, but this fucking bitch comments on I did a day in my life. Literally, I think it was maybe 2 minutes and 15-second long video. This is a 12-hour long day in my life that I lived. I filmed 2 minutes and 15 seconds of it. This bitch comments and she's like, not walking your dogs and taking them to the dog park is abuse. I'm like, one, bitch. Literally, Rusty's blind. He's terrified of outside. The dog trainer specifically told me not to walk him, or if I did, slowly adjust him by carrying him in a bag so he can get used to the sounds. If you put him on the street, he will not fucking take a step because he's scared. Obviously, he's blind, and there are fucking taxis racing by. I literally have this specific apartment to have a private outdoor space with grass that comes every 2 weeks to my apartment so my dogs can go out there if they need, and it's a little private, quiet area, and Rusty's been loving it and he's been doing so well. Obviously, yes, I completely agree. For specifically like exercise purpose, I take my dogs on walks.
You're a really good mom.
And like I am. Thank you. And also I'm like, my dogs, it is fucking 18 degrees outside. My dogs weigh 7 pounds. They're freezing fucking cold. I don't care how many jackets I strap on them. They are miserable. Obviously, I still push them through that misery a little bit, but they fucking hate it. It's horrible. Walking outside.
I even hate it, and I'm more than 7 pounds.
Yeah, I would.
I know, hard
goals,
to tell
honestly.
without my waist, but like I.
But anyway, also I'm like, again, this was a 2 minute long video. You have no idea what I did in this day. If I walked them or not, you didn't see the video, like whatever. Also, they have a dog father who takes care of them as well. It's like the assumptions. It's like, how do you know Reed didn't take them on a fucking 15-hour long walk? How do you know I don't have a dog walker that comes to the apartment every single day that I didn't film?
Like, not every single thing is filmed. Like,
anyway, that's just my little rant.
Reality TV.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, your emotions are valid.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk about your ideal engagement. Like, I know you put this like on your Instagram stories, but I wanted to talk about it more in depth.
Okay. I want to say, I always feel like I have to disclaim this because people are like, oh, so you hated jazz. One, I didn't, but two, I literally love whatever that person wants for them. I think that's what's the best.
That's the whole point.
I've said this before. Our friend got engaged and she had like what I would consider, and I would say you as well, like our nightmare situation, which is like her whole family was there and there's like rose petals on the ground and a marry me sign, but she loved it. And like you could see in her face how happy she was. And so I literally cried watching her video because I was like, this is so cute.
It's about watching someone else have joy.
Yeah.
And it's like, whatever's going to bring you joy, that's what your situation should be, despite what anyone else says. Like, it should be, whatever is going to bring you joy, that's what it should be.
100%. So I have nothing against anybody else's. I'm speaking solely for myself.
Yes.
But I personally, I just like, with everything, I kind of see it as like a show. I feel like personally, why are you getting down on a knee? Like, I know maybe people are going to be like, I've said this my entire life. People try to be like, Reed has her brainwashed into thinking that's what he doesn't have to do that. No, Reed would do it, honestly. Or, whatever. I'm not marrying Reed at this moment, so who's to say? But I'm just saying, I've been like that my entire life. You can ask my parents. I've been saying this since I was probably 14.
You've been saying this since we met.
Yeah. I just am kind of like, it feels like a show with everything. Like, I could never imagine myself walking down an aisle because I just genuinely couldn't take it seriously. And I'd be like, I feel like I'm in 5th grade again, like making my mom watch my performances. So it's not for me. I personally view a proposal as like a conversation, I feel. And I think if it were to be a proposal, I would want it to be like a literal question and a literal surprise, in the sense that I wouldn't talk about it and plan it out and all of this stuff and be like, this is what I want my ring to look like. This is this is that. I think for me, I would want it to literally be like, oh, fuck. Like, I didn't know this was happening. Like not even like, we haven't had a conversation about this. This is a literal question. Like, do you want to marry me? Obviously, I don't think the person should be like, confused, like, oh, is she gonna say yes? You know what I'm saying? But if you've been together for like 3 or 4 years,
you have enough like life and future conversations to where you know where it's going.
And if it's not, and if it is kind of like, I think we should get engaged soon, we have that conversation, I see it as just that conversation, period. And then it's like, there's not surprise me on this day for me. Like, I'm just like, okay, let's just be engaged. Like, that's how I would view it. I will say, if he was buying me a ring, I would want it to be a complete, like, I would not have a single say. I would never say anything about what I wanted it to look like, because I would want to see what he picked out. Yeah. So like and I think that's what would make me like it more is being like, oh my God. And I know that's not for everybody, obviously. I just think I think also, you know, when Aiden gave Carrie that ring and it was like the complete wrong. I think that would also be extremely telling. Like, if you only wear gold jewelry and this man gets you fucking silver, I think for me that would be the answer right there. I'd be like, you don't even know me. And I literally think that would like make me end it. You know what I'm saying? So I think if the ring like really fits your vibe, not that I would be like nitpicky about it, but you know what I'm saying? I just think it would come together in that way. So I personally, I know people have very different opinions on that, obviously. And there's no right or wrong. I will say I also have been seeing this conversation surrounding wedding rings in general, which I think is really interesting because of the rise of like lab grown diamonds. Yeah. It matters, not that it ever mattered, but you know, people like to show off whatever. It literally matters so much less about the size of your like actual stone, because lab grown you can get for like what, a tenth of like a lot smaller of a price.
Those numbers.
I don't know.
Yeah, but less.
Less. And so I do think a lot of things are more coming into like the design of the ring and like what you like. And Lexi Hidalgo's ring or whatever, obviously like I would look fucking ridiculous with that ring.
But it makes so much sense. It made
so much sense for her, and I loved her ring because for her. You know what I'm saying? It was so cute. It was the most her ring. Her boyfriend like made her flowers all the time, and that was like his whole TikTok is making her these flowers. So then for her ring to be that, that was one of the most impressive rings I've seen in a really long time. But nothing to do with, I don't know if it's a lab grown. I don't know what kind of diamond it is.
But it's a thought.
I don't care. It was just a thought, and I thought it was so cute. Meaning. So I love that. I would want something also like a little more, I don't know, weird, like for like a ring. Like I would want something weird. I don't know. I've seen like ones like this is insane, and you like it's so like it's the opposite of what you would want. You'd be like, this is so fucking ugly. I've seen ones that's like, I wouldn't want this, I guess personally, but it's like this really cool. It's like all like a holding the ring, like it's like these hands, and it's like holding the diamond. It's a super like whatever. I just thought something like that is like really cool. I don't know if I could pull that off, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Everyone has their thing.
No, 100%.
Everyone has their stuff. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And even like Peyton was on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, we did an episode with her. And like she wanted everything. She wanted to be the most involved person in the process. And like they got engaged like over dinner, and like that was, and they went back to watching TV because like, that's what she wanted. That's what brought her joy.
Well, she kind of had like the two opposite ends of the spectrum, where she had the literal most low key engagement, where she was like she posted her engagement outfit. It was like a grout fit. It was like a great tank top and shorts, watching shows. But then she was also insanely involved in the planning process, so she had kind of like the two opposite ends of that spectrum. It's just like literally different for every person and what they want.
Yeah, like everyone's idea of ideal is different, and I think it's really important to like, and ourselves included, like, but I don't think we're telling you what to do. I think we're saying outside opinions, like people take, oh well, like it needs to be like this. It needs to be whatever is going to make you happy, whether that's being really involved or not involved at all. Like it has to make sense for you.
I think it can also be harder, especially one if you're watching a lot of people around. You kind of do a very similar thing of a very traditional engagement, and then maybe you don't want that, but you kind of feel like, oh well, I have to because everyone else is doing that. I think that can be really hard, and just feeling like breaking a tradition. I also think if there's any level, it's almost like I view it the same way as going to college and then moving to New York City. I know that's a weird correlation, but it's like I always felt like I wanted to move to New York City, and I knew that, and I'm glad I did it. But I do think if there's any hint of you that does want to go to a college that's like a normal traditional college and not just move to New York City, I think that you should do that, because you can never do it again. You can never do college again. You can always move to New York City and like be an adult. I feel the same way about an engagement, if this is making any sense. It's like, if you kind of have any inkling, like I kind of would want like a big engagement and a crazy whatever, it's like, do it, because you can never do that again. I mean, unless you marry somebody else, but you know, hopefully you never do that again. It's the same thing with a wedding. If you're kind of like, I do want a wedding, and you can't really decide, I say do it, because if there's any part of you that kind of would want it, or maybe you would look back in 10, 15 years and be like, I really wish I had a wedding, I think you're always going to regret that, and you can't really do it again. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You could have, you know, it just wouldn't be exactly the same. So again, I feel very confident in the fact that I would not want that. So I'm not feeling any like whatever. But if you have even the tiniest inkling towards it, I say do it, because you can never do it again.
Yeah, I have the tiniest inkling, and look at me fucking now.
Yeah. And I think that's great, because I think that 100% you're somebody that I do think if you had gone the route of not doing it, I think in 5 years you would have been like, I wish I had done this, and I feel like you would have felt
I think
that
it's also because I'm getting married at the stage I'm currently at, getting like the age I'm currently at, if I were to get engaged, say at 35 instead of right now, I think I would feel differently. I think I would be like different headspace of like what I'd want to do. So
yeah,
because before I always wanted to elope, but I also thought I was going to get engaged way later than I did. So like that would have made sense for like that timeline, not for this right now.
Yeah.
But
whatever you want. I just think that's what matters.
Yeah.
Literally, there's literally no right or wrong. I know we say
but
that.
I will say, like, I know we literally do always say that. But even like when like I got engaged, like when Peyton was on the podcast and she was like, and she said on like her stories and stuff, she was like, yeah, like I didn't cry, like it wasn't like anything like serious, it just like was what made sense for us. I'm like, but I always see videos, and even prior to getting engaged, I always saw that. I was like, oh, like why am I supposed to be like, I'm not that person either. And like it's been validating for me to like also watch her experience like getting engaged, 'cause it's been very similar to like how I felt after getting engaged. And like it's even like with like wedding dresses, like everyone's like and I'm just, like, I'm not that person.
I think if I had like I can't explain it, but if I don't handle emotions, like big emotions well, I think Peyton kind of said the same thing. She's like, it scares me. So that's why she wanted like a very casual whatever. That's why I think I also don't want a proposal in general. I just don't think I'd handle it well, period. Again, I would just want to have a conversation about it or be like, I don't know. I just don't think I'd handle it well.
I think at the end of the day, like, you know yourself and you know what works for you, and like situations in the past like tell you how you're going to react most likely in the future. You know, like I've always been like, things overwhelm me, and I'm a very big planner, and I like to like be very in the know, and I'm a very big control freak. Yeah. So like my life will continue that way. That's not changing. I'm not changing. Like, at my core, that's who I am, and it's not changing. And trying to go out of what's the norm for me will make me uncomfortable, and therefore make me have a less positive experience.
100%.
So you got to trust who you are at the core and curate your experience around that.
I'm like the opposite, where if you're like, where are you going to be in 5 years? I would say I have no fucking idea. I have literally 700,000 unread emails, 800 unread texts. My desktop on my computer is the scariest place you've ever seen. Like, I'm the opposite of that. So I don't know.
But to your core,
I give way
like,
less fucks. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So like, trust yourself.
Exactly.
Frost yourself.
100%. Everybody has different taste in wedding dresses.
You know that movie?
What?
Frost Yourself. Oh, it's from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Oh, it's like Frost
the yellow
yourself.
dress.
Like the whole they were fighting over that. The whole bet was based off the campaign for the diamonds.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm like, I was that for Halloween. I should know.
Oh, yeah, you were. Yeah.
I've seen the movie one time, but I've seen it.
But thanks for chatting with
us.
It's been really great. This is honestly therapy.
It really is.
Not for you guys, but for us.
Yeah.
We get a lot of stuff off of our chest.
No,
sometimes I get stuff in my chest.
Yeah, I have some stuff in my chest right now.
No, I meant my tits.
Oh, I meant like a congestion. Yeah. But I actually, like, this is really healing because I go to make videos about the topics we talk about all the time. And that's literally what stops me. I'll be like, you guys. And then I'm like, I'm just going to put I'm going to put this in the notes for the podcast and we'll talk about it there. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah. So thank you guys for being our safe space and making us feel like we can get things off our chest. And thank you for getting it, because the girls that get it are you guys, and the girls that don't are blocked on TikTok.
Yeah.
So have a great week. It's been so fun. It's been so fresh.
All right.